On July 18, 2012, members of the United Nations gathered at the UN headquarters in New York in honor of Nelson Mandela International Day.
I cherish the ideal of a democratic and free society in which all persons live together in harmony and with equal opportunities.
During the tribute, there were musical performances by Ms. Bongiwe Nakani and Mr. Tesele Kemane, graduate students at the University of Cape Town Opera School. After the ceremony, an event was held at the Church Center for the United Nations in celebration of Nelson Mandela's life and accomplishments. Devendra Pillai of the Brahma Kumari's Office of the United Nations, who also organized the Hope and Promise of Leadership event, had this to say.
The approach that we are taking is that we are actually celebrating Madiba's legacy of leadership. There was a very beautiful values-based humanitarian spirit towards his leadership. And I think for any young emerging leader, as well as anybody who's interested in further developing their own leadership style, it's very important to take time to actually critically analyze and appreciate this humanitarian approach to leadership, so that perhaps insights, wisdom, personal examples, as well as practical methods of implementing this beautiful leadership style can be incorporated into their own field of service and take them forward to wherever they would like to go in terms of serving the community. And so the hope and promise of leadership is that Madiba's legacy will continue by the people who are committed to serving the world in the way that he used to serve the world.
Also in attendance was Patricia L. Gatling, New York City Human Rights Commissioner.
But one of my favorite quotes from Nelson Mandela, and it's not the usual one, it's the one where he talks about part of being optimistic is keeping one's head pointed toward the sun and one's feet moving forward. And that's what we have to realize, that you have to, we've got to keep the energy going, and certainly so many things are happening where we can look at our politics and we can look at what's going on in the world and think, are we going back 40 years? What is happening to us as a race of people? But if you study history, that's what happens. And if you study the Bible, it's always darkest before it's light. And so, we live in a good time. It's a good day. We got up today and we have the energy and the spirit, and it's the right time to try and do right. And we should be about that, about doing right today.
And Consul Lebogang Mokoena from the Office of the South African Consulate.
Nelson Mandela never wavered in his devotion to democracy, equality, and learning. Despite terrible provocation, he has never answered racism with racism. His life has been an inspiration in South Africa and throughout the world. He has taught many things to many people. And for me, as a young South African, he has taught me that life is too short to dwell on the wounds of the past, and therefore I have to embrace it as though there is no tomorrow. He has also taught me that black is not a color to be ashamed of. It is as beautiful as other colors, and that black and white work well together when they are put together. I thank you.
We are all happy to be, celebrating this day, and we are honored that we are also able to do activities in honor of his memory.
Mandela's vision was to create a caring world, giving to the community as much as it can. This event at the UN was one of the many activities that was here in New York as people commemorated Mandela's birthday on the 18th of July on Mandela's International Day. Happy birthday, Mandela, on his 94th birthday. Signing out for Sahara Reporters, I'm Njeri Mbure.